Hi, today we're going to become experts, yes, experts at simplifying radical expressions. So before we get started, let's put your name on your paper because I know that you are an expert at that. I have faith. All right, so problem number 1. What we're looking for is a simplified version of this expression of the square root of 125n. So remember, when we have a square root, I'm looking for two of the same thing in order to make a bundle. And any number that doesn't get to make a bundle is going to go back inside of the square root. So we're dividing usually by the smallest number that goes into it, other than 1, and I'm looking for primes. So what is the smallest thing that 125 is divisible by? And you might say, any number that ends in a 5 is divisible by 5, and I say, excellent. What is 125 divided by 5? And you would put in your calculator and you'd say, oh, it's 25. I said, great. 25, what does that come from? And you'd say 5 times 5. I'd say super. And then this n, there's just one of it. It's just an n. Okay. So I'm looking for two of the same thing in order to make a bundle. And yes, I definitely have a couple of 5s. Great. Now I have a leftover 5 and I have a leftover n. I am not looking at the composite. I am only looking at the primes. So when we do these, let's make a note. We take a bundle representative, those go outside of what? The square root house. And then we put leftovers in the square root house. Just like you put leftovers after dinner back in the fridge, it's back in the fridge. Okay, so we're going to take just a representative bundle of 5s. Nothing else got to be a bundle, so square root, leftovers, back in the fridge, 5n, done. Great. Let's check out number 3, right below it. Number 3, wow, 512, that's big. Yep, it sure is. What's the smallest thing that can divide into it? 2. And this is where your calculator is going to help you move a lot faster. So 512 divided by 2, 256. What's the smallest thing that can go into 256? Yeah, another 2. And that makes 128. Smallest thing that goes into 128? 2. That makes 64. At this point, you can say, oh, but I recognize 64. I know what 64 comes from. That comes from an 8 and an 8. And I say, you're right. That's true. So that's pretty nice because I'm looking for two of the same thing to make a bundle. So that'll be very helpful. In this k squared comes from k times k. So let's look at what we've got. I have a bundle of 2s. I have a leftover 2. I have a bundle of 8s. And I have a bundle of k's. I'm not looking at these composites that we broke down. Yeah, the 8 is a composite, but we didn't break it because we saw there were 2 of them. And I need 2 to make a bundle. So a representative of each of the bundles, a bundle of 2 times a bundle of 8s times a bundle of k's. Leftovers go back in the fridge. Let's simplify this. 2 times 8 times k, 16k square root of 2. Done. Not so bad. Let's check out number 5. What's the smallest thing that can go into 216? Yeah, it's divisible by 2. That makes 108. What's the smallest thing that goes into 108? 2 and 54. Hey, what goes into 54? 2 and 27. 2 does not go into 27. What does? 3. That's right. And that makes 9. And 9 comes from 3 and 3. So my k, let's see, how many of them do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 2 of the same thing. 2 of the same thing. Leftover, leftover. 2 of the same thing. 2 of the same thing. All right. Take a representative of my 2's times a representative of my 3's times a representative of that bundle of k's times a representative of that bundle of k's. Leftovers go back in the fridge. I have a leftover 2 times a leftover 3. All right, let's clean this up. 2 times 3 times k, 6k squared, square root of 6. Nice. Are you getting the hang of this? I hope so. Let's go do number 7. 80. What's the smallest thing that goes into 80? Yeah, 2 and 40. Great. And 40 comes from 2 and 20. 20 comes from 2 and 10. 10 comes from 2 and 5. How many P for piglets do I have? 3 of them. My previous problem is kind of invading our space, huh? All right, bundles. I got a bundle of 2's. I got another bundle of 2's. I got a leftover 5. I got a bundle of piglets. And I got a leftover piglet. Okay, a representative of my bundle of 2's times a representative of my other bundle of 2's times a representative of my bundle of piglets. Refrigerator, I got a 5 and another piglet. Let's clean this up. 2 times 2 times p, 4p times the square root of 5p. Done. Are you starting to get some skill? Are you starting to build some confidence? I hope so. All right, let's look at this one. 147. What do you think goes into that? Not a lot. What am I doing? Check it out on your calculator. What'd you find? 7. 7 and 21. And 21 comes from 7 and 3. Great. And then I have 1, 2, 3 M's and 1, 2, 3 N's. Okay, let's go make our bundles. Bundle of 7's, leftover. Bundle of M's, leftover. Bundle of N's, leftover. All right. So this ends up being a representative of a bundle of 7's times M times N refrigerator, leftover 3, leftover M, leftover N. That's it. I don't even have anything to clean up. That's nice. All right, let's do number 11. What's the smallest thing that you can see real quick that goes into 75? There's a couple of options. The fastest one that I see is anything that ends in a 5 is always divisible by 5. So this is 5 and 15, which comes from 5 and 3. So if you had started it with a 3, that would have been just fine. You still would have ended up with a couple of 5s. We have an X, and a Y. I got a bundle of 5s, leftover 3, bundle of X's, leftover Y. Representative of the 5s, representative of the X's, square root, leftover 3Y. Done. Are you about ready to say you're a master at this? That'd be awesome. How good does that feel? Let's check out 13. Hey, you're smart. What's the square root of 16? I mean, like, you just know that. It's 4 and 4. Yeah, and we said earlier on problem number 3 that if you're able to split this into a perfect square root, just stop there. I've got 4 U's and I have 3 V's. So I have a bundle of 4s, a bundle of U's, another bundle of U's, a bundle of V's, and a leftover V. Okay? 4 times U times U times V, square root of V. So let's clean that up. What is U times U? It could be twins, I guess. So 4U squared V, square root of V. Done. All right, why don't you pause the video and go tackle number 2 through 14, the evens, and then we'll pick up with the back. All right, come and ask me if you need a little help. Let's look at 15. So 15 is just like what we did a moment ago. 36, we know 36 comes from 6 and 6. I have a couple of X's and I have 3 Y's. So we've got a bundle of 6's, a bundle of X's, a bundle of Y's, and a leftover Y. What do we get? 6xy square root of y. Done. Nice job. So let's look at 17. 17 is just a little bit different, but not by much. It's different because there's a 7 in front of the square root. So we're going to find out what to do with that. So let's break down the 96. It's divisible by 2. So what is 96 divided by 2? 48, which comes from 2 and 24, which comes from 2 and 12, which comes from 2 and 6, which comes from 2 and 3. Good. And then m cubed is 3m's. So I have a bundle of 2s. I have another bundle of 2s. I have a leftover 2, a leftover 3. I have a bundle of m's and a leftover m. So check it out. We have this 7. And this 7 starts us off times our representative of 2 times our representative of this other bundle of 2s times the m. Square root leftover 2 times leftover 3 times m. Let's clean that up. 7 times 2 times m, 14m square root of 6m. That's not so bad. So what's different? Oh my goodness. Did you let me do that? I didn't write down one of my bundles. What am I going to do? This is a 28. How could you let me do that? Yeah, I know it's my fault. So I have this 7 out in front, a bundle of 2s, times a bundle of 2s, times my bundle of m's, 2 times 3 times my leftover m. There we go. Man, my bad. Let's go do 19. We'll get this. I just wasn't careful, that's all. 150 comes from 2 and 75. 75 ends in a 5. So that's 5 and 15, which comes from 5 and 3. So here, I have a bundle of 5s, but I don't have any other bundles. I have a leftover 2, a leftover 3, and a leftover r. That's it. So I have my negative 6 out in front times my bundle of 5s, square root leftover 2 times leftover 3 times leftover r. So I get negative 30 square root of 6r. Done. Okay, let's strengthen this. Number 21. 125. We've already tackled 125. It's divisible by 5 and 25, which is 5 and 5, and I have a v. Bundle of 5s, leftover 5, leftover v. So I have my 2 that's in front times my bundle of 5s, square root 5v. What does that give me? 10 square root of 5v. Nice. Is this starting to get smooth? I hope it's starting to get smooth. Let's check out number 23. 192. Where does 192 come from? That's big. 192 divided by 2 is 96. That was a good year. Divided by 2, 48. Divided by 2, 24. Divided by 2, 12. Divided by 2, 6. Divided by 2 is 3. Man, that's a lot of 2s. One bundle, another bundle, another bundle, a leftover 3, a leftover x. So my negative 4 that's out in front, bundle of 2s, bundle of 2s, bundle of 2s, square root, leftover 3, leftover x. Did we get them all? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Good. What is negative 4 times 2 times 2 times 2? Do you know what that is? Did you get negative 32? Square root of 3x? Nice. Yeah, we should be cruising in, getting this done. Number 5. What does 216 come from? 216 comes from 2 and 108. 108 comes from 54, which comes from 2 and 27, which is 3 and 9, and 3 and 3. I've got a couple of x's, a couple of y's, and a z. Bundle of 2's. Oh, bundle of 3's. Leftover 2, leftover 3. Bundle of x's, bundle of y's, leftover z. All right, negative 4 in front times a bundle of 2's times a bundle of 3's times a bundle of x's times a bundle of y's. Square root, leftover 2. Ooh, running out of space. Leftover 3 and a z. What is negative 4 times 2 times 3? Negative 24 x, y. Square root 2 times 3, 6 z. All right, I'm going to let you finish this. 16 through 30. We only didn't do 2 of these together on the left side, but I'm going to let you do those, 16 through 30. If you need any help, come and ask me, and I will be very happy to clarify where you're stuck.